Thank God it's Sunday, the 24th of November, if you can believe that. And I'm very excited. This will be the first presentation. With some new equipment. This is going very well. See, if you water them too much, they come out. They start to soften, and they don't have the robust like this one over here. That'll be cut down and cut off. Anyway, this is going to be a very short garden review. Look at the dead wood on that. Can you see the dead wood right there? Very nice. And so this is the front. So I'm very excited. Again, I will not be able to name any of these plant species. I'm not Robert from Austin. He knows all of it. I'm not the gentleman from Crime Pays, but Botany doesn't. So you're going to have to bear with my novice. Look at the way that's starting and has started. You're going to have to bear with me. I hope up to this point, the last presentation was loaded yesterday, and that was the Niagara Falls room review. And there'll be a part 2 to that as well, dealing with the communication fiasco or problem that I experienced in that room. So this is just going to be a November 24th garden review. Look at the way this thing is it just wants to go and go and go and go and go. Now, if you want to leave anything in the comments, I'm going to have to tighten that screw or something. Learn how to do it right. So it's 61 degrees on the 24th of November, and just some nice specimens here on the steps of the residence. And let's just go back. I got out of the vehicle. I had a flight today from Austin to Los Angeles, and I hadn't seen my garden in quite some time. And I want you to see exactly what I'm seeing, of course, in real time. Many of you are probably already discontinued the viewing of this presentation. Viewers who are sick and tired of these garden reviews, but it's been a while since I've been in Los Angeles, back here at the Cresta Mobile Home Park. Now this is good news over here. These cuttings have taken. See these cuttings? So this is three more new plants, and look at how thick this is getting over here. Unbelievable. So these are cuttings, and I'm glad to see that they took. I think I used some of that rooting formula, that powder. It looks like baby powder, and you put a little on the cutting. You can get that stuff in any garden center, and they have some pretty scary warnings on that hormone stuff. I don't quite know what they're talking about. This one is on the verge of getting thrown in the dumpster. Of course, we'll keep the pot, but I'm getting sick and tired of this. Was wild caught in Manhattan Beach. This is the Bonnevilla that's still suffering. And this looks like we've got something that took here too. See the cutting here? Another olive. So that's fun. And some of the other things on this bench. This cacti is doing very well. Robert can tell you what it is. I can't. Exactly what species. That guy, Botany, Crime Pays, but Botany doesn't. If you want to find him on YouTube, he's at a place up in the Bay Area in California. He says it's the best botanical garden there is because they don't try to make it look pretty. What they do is they show you exactly what you would see in this climate, in this part of the world. Each section is dedicated to the climate or the things that you would find in that climate, and it's very interesting. And he knows all the names, and he pronounces them just so eloquently. I just don't get it. I like to meet that guy. I mean, I can't even pronounce my name, and this guy's raffling off these names with 15 letters. I guess the pharmaceutical industry and the botany industry have one thing, and definitely they have in common: their love for crazy nomenclature for their given subjects. See, this needs to be taken out and repotted at some time in its own pot, but I'm glad to see that that's going pretty good. Here's some kind of yucca. Look at the way that just took off. So Rose is doing an excellent job keeping this garden in tip-top shape during my absence. There's no doubt about it. So I'm just gonna try to... Oh yes, I've almost forgot. This presentation is the first presentation on the brand new iPhone 16 Max Pro. I went to the Apple store at the Barton Creek Square Mall, and I purchased a new iPhone. Red Band says it was time. I had a 12 and it was time. Doing very nicely. Granted, now, just remember, this is in November now. This is November. This is a ficus, cutting from a ficus that took off pretty nicely and is even showing how strong it is with its it looks like fruit. And like I said, I am just a novice. I am not an expert, but I know what I know what I know, and I know what I don't know, and I don't try to pretend to know more than I don't know. You know, you can only know as much as you know, and then you know you don't know, but you don't want to have somebody tell you they know and actually they don't know. So it's good to know. This is one of my favorite right here. See, that's what you want to do. You want to get them so they look old as can be. Look at this. Look at the trunk on that. See? It looks like it's been on the earth for maybe hundreds and hundreds of years because it's so weathered and old looking. But of course it is not that old looking. But these have striking. Let me see how close I can get on here with this new lens. With this, there you go. Holy cow! Look at the detail, just like you would see in the wild. It's got a little curvature to the trunk, a nice root base. Just a fascinating specimen and one of my favorites. This one needs a little TLC. Here's another olive from a cutting. It's doing very, very well. This is the crown of thorns, I believe they call that. I cut that down and tried to make that more of a tree form. And again, that is doing very well. I believe this was, I don't know what this was. It looks like something happened here. See it? I don't know. But just very interesting. These are the big cactus. Still going strong and making its way up. Very good, very good. This is the Japanese elm, I believe. I may be mistaken. Leave it in the comments. Tell me I don't know what I'm doing. This is finally starting to do something besides just sit there. So I'm happy about that. These can get very large. This one I've had for so long, and it just keeps going and going and going. I don't want to even dare try to repot that or trim the roots, the root ball, because I'm afraid that it may cause the specimen to perish. Here's Mary Ann's Christmas trees from years gone by. Here's a nice one over here. So this is just a little overview of since the last time. I know some of the viewers do enjoy these presentations of the garden area because, you know, this is not really a big space, as you can see. So if you can have fun and with horticulture or botany in a small space, go for it and don't let it distract you. So this is a nice one. I got this in Florida, believe it or not. I don't know how many years ago. Look at that. And those are the cuttings that I've been making with those other ones that we viewed. This, I don't know exactly what's going on here. But, you know, this is another ficus cutting. Still alive, doing good. We got rid of the hole in the ground, and that got old after a while, so I replaced it with a paver. Now here's the olive. Now I got this idea for this olive when I was in Rome, and I saw an olive tree that was just... Now it looks like these are dying out over here. What is going on over here? It looks like I've got a die out going over here. They're still kind of green on top. But it looks like a dieback down below. Look at all that brown. And these are evergreen, so that should not be the case. So I'll have to ask Robert about that. So this is good now. This is high now, just the way I want it. I want it to be a canopy, and then I want to be able to see the pagoda through the tree like that. And these branches are thickening up. Robert told me, don't trim your bonsais terribly, especially the junipers. Yeah, look at all that. Yeah, something. Maybe they're just getting old and they've had enough. You know, maybe they've just had enough. Look at all the needles on the floor. Look, they've had enough, I guess, and they don't want to continue, I guess. So this lens selection on this iPhone, this Apple iPhone 16 Max Pro has 4 selections. It has a 5, a 2, 1X, and a 0.5. 0.5 being the largest, then the 1, the 2, and the 5. Look how clear and crisp that 5 is. Those close-up shots of things that you want to see close up. Look at the trunk, it's really thickening up on this one. And I've got some moss starting to finally grow on the bottom of the pagoda, which is nice. It'll really give it a pop. Let me go back to 0.5x, whatever that means. Here's your, not gecko. Gecko, yes, it's a gecko. Not to be confused with the gecko, who sells car insurance. Yeah, I was pretty agitated at that hotel room. I was watching that presentation, and I was well, everybody's agitated when you get off a plane. Today, it was a nice flight. It was a smooth flight. It landed. Nobody got hurt, but gee whiz. They really pack them in there. I tell you, it seems like every time I get on one of those planes, it's smaller and smaller and smaller. The aisle is like you can't even... The leaves are falling off this one, and it'll come back, the maple. It'll come back in the spring. As soon as these leaves fall, it starts working on the buds for the next year. It's amazing. Here's your boxwood. Again, just wonderful, wonderful boxwoods really give you a sense that it's been around a while. Look at that. And what's fun about this, I guess, is it's a living thing. You know, it's a living thing. And they are just... It gives you an example how hardy the planet and how tremendously sophisticated the planet is. And, you know, I think a lot of people forget where they are. I guess they call it taking it for granted. I mean, you're on a planet spinning around in the solar system. You think you'd be just excited every day. I know my brother-in-law, Paul Maniscalco from Fort Myers, Florida, is excited every day. He sends beautiful photographs of sunsets and sunrises over there in Fort Myers, Florida. Okay, let me spin around. This was on the ground. You saw this before. This was being thrown out by somebody. So and these you just pull off when they get, you pull them off at the bottom. See the way that you pull them off? You don't cut these, you just pull them off when they get old. If you can. Give them a good tug. They'll reach their scope. And that's what you do with these. You just take them off like that. You know. Take it off, and it makes the plant that much more attractive to the eye. And if you take one off that shouldn't have been taken off, don't worry. You know, these plants in horticulture are just as sophisticated as your own body. Look at this over here. Isn't this wonderful? You know, you look at stuff like this and you go, where the hell am I? You know, where the hell am I? What kind of place is this? But, you know, sometimes we get agitated. Sometimes we get angry. I mean, the only people that's going to get you angry are other people, right? When you're by yourself, you're not angry. You're not upset. You know? You start yelling and you're at home, you just tell your wife, your girlfriend, and your boyfriend, just say what I say. I said I wouldn't be yelling if you weren't here. You know? Not a very complimentary thing to say, but if you weren't here, I wouldn't be yelling. Here's another boxwood from a cutting. Doing very well. They're very hardy, and these back here are the boxwoods. The screen. I think this is new to you. I put this one over here on top of the bench. It was over there behind that. And just some beautiful things here. You just don't know what's gonna happen, you know. I just wanted some color. Just wanted some color in the garden. So that's why I got some color in the garden now. Now look at this now. This thing is going like gangbusters. Beautiful. Look at the trunk on this one. See? And you try to just keep it away so you don't hit your head. This one is going good. Everybody knows the name of this. But I, as usual, especially when I'm doing a presentation, I cannot remember. This is a Bonavita. Mispronouncing it, of course. This is a nice specimen. And then we got some stuff going on over here. So everything looks like in order. This will eventually droop down and like a waterfall when that starts to figure out what it wants to do. You know, all these plants or any plants have to get used to or acclimate themselves to the new pot or the new soil mixture, the new position in the sun, you know, the new location. And once they get that down pat and they realize they're just right where they want to be, they'll take off. It's just the way it is. It's some more boxwood here. And then this thing is going like gangbusters. Look at the size of this thing. It just wants to... Now, I had this pot replaced, as you know, and I may have to replace it again, but this is a newer pot, so it might be a little bit sturdier. What have I got? 19, 20 minutes, all right. So there it is. If you want to see how This is the, I don't know if I ever showed you the outside of the screen. See, this is it. These have been here many years. I've got some die off here. You know, I'm just hoping they last. See the die off? So things come and go. Don't be discouraged. They want to live, they'll live. They want to die, they're going to die. There's nothing you can do. Oh, I'm missing one of my, there's some bamboo there. This looks pretty healthy up here. But maybe that's what they're doing. They want to become trees at the bottom, and trunkage. I'll have to ask Robert all about that. I don't know if I ever showed you this. Now look at this one over here. Look at this. This was cut down. And look at it going. It looks like a marijuana plant, but of course it's not. And it's just, instead of throwing it out, we just cut it down. As you can see, it was cut down. And this is what happens. So you've got another reborn, a rebirth, if you will, and off to there's your money tree that just, I presume it needs new soil or some fertilizer, but that's why, geez, that was startling. That's probably because it needs fertilizer or a soil change, and that's why the leaves are kind of deformed. And there's this thing. Yeah, look at that. Nice. And so that's that. I think that's that. I think that's the end of this presentation. It's just a little, I had to do it. I came back after being in Austin for quite, I forget, and I just, I wanted to, oh, I didn't do the bench over here. Also, we got a rose bush over here. We've got some succulents over here. That looks like a little tree. Very nice. 2 of them. Some cacti. Very healthy looking cacti. See this one? This is, you got to remove this when you get a chance. You know, it's another volunteer, as they say. Here's another one. And these make great bonsais too, these succulents. And this is the same thing. Is that getting a root on there? Yeah, that's gonna get, that's, you can turn that into. Here's a nice one. This has been around. Look at this, look at this. This is what you want. You want to look at a specimen and just say, God, that thing's been there forever. And you get that, you know, you're almost afraid to touch the roots. I mean, you're almost afraid to trim the root ball and put it back in the same pot. That's what you do. You don't, when a bonsai gets big, you can put it in a bigger pot, but most of the time they'll just trim the root ball 1/3 or perhaps, and then put it back in the same pot. And that's why you see gigantic bonsai trees in what looks like, how could that live? How could that be 200 years old in such little amount of soil? It's because they've cut back. Here's an olive. Now look at this one. This thing has been coming on like gangbusters for I don't know how long. Still with us. This is a form of cacti here. These are some of my favorite, but my favorite is this one, just the way it looks. I mean, it's just got a very nice shape to it, I tell you. Isn't that nice? But be prepared. If you're wondering, I think I think I got this from Harris Pete. I think this is a deer teeth from Livingston, Montana, just outside of Yellowstone National Park. Did you know Yellowstone National Park closes in the winter? Here's another ficus. This one I've had for a while. Another volunteer here. See the way they just start taking. It's unbelievable. I don't want that in there. Now this I got at the South Bay Botanical Gardens here in Los Angeles, and I can't tell you what that is. I can't tell you anything, really. Yeah, after you watch one of my presentations, you find yourself Googling everything because you're talking to her. Now, this is one I've had for quite some time. Look at the base on that one. And the bark really gives a tree character. So how do you like the images on this? I really like the close-ups. I'm on 0.5x now. That's the wide lens. So I'm going to close it out. I just want to... Here's another ficus. See the way that... Look at that. And changing colors in the fall, I guess. I don't know. This is very red. And the ones back there are very green. So you don't know what you're going to get. This one, see, this one is still alive, but I trimmed the root base and I lost a lot of it. See, so you got to be prepared to take that chance. You can watch all the videos you want. It's all the same. Just trim the root ball, put it back in. And sometimes it's successful, and sometimes the plant or the bonsai. Excuse me, walking ammonia. Sometimes it just shocks the species. It shocks it, and then you have your die-off, is what you're seeing right here. So it's a dicey endeavor. So I think that's it. Is there anything else I wanted to show you? Oh, I did want to show you one thing. This is for Robert in particular. He says I have to take this plant out of the pot. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, there's the Goodyear blimp. Wow. There it is. Isn't that nice? So we got lucky. We got something on the presentation that nobody was expecting. Now look at the way this is coming up, Robert. Look at the way this just wants to come out of the pot. But I am not. I'm more interested in the pot than I am these pots aren't inexpensive. So, I'm not gonna, what kind of job that's gonna be to take that out of that pot and trim the base of the roots to like from here down. I mean, that's a big job, and I'm not prepared for that job. So it doesn't look like it's affecting the health of the palm. But just to give you an idea, it just wants out. It just wants out. Look at that. I showed you that last time. I wanted to show you again. What these are for is this is to keep people from running into my house. Maybe they'll hit these pots and save the house. This one is doing great. Look at this one. This, I think, is from South Africa or Africa or something. But it is very healthy, and it's in a nice big pot. Look at the root base on that sucker. So everything is in order. Still no buyers for the resident across the street. I guess they want too much money. You can call them yourself and ask them how much it is and see what they say. Gabrielle Henderdine, 310-627-2725. Yeah, you bring the heroin, I'll bring the bleach. Move in. Okay, let's go. I think that's it. I'm going to close it out. Maybe I'll close it out up on the deck in front of the world map, which is a very interesting. I got that at the Salvation Army or someplace. Secondhand store for like a nickel. I said, I got to have that. So I went back and it was still there. if you can see this with the sun. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to just get the branch structure, not block the pagoda with any type of tree or bush. I think it's accomplishing it. So that's it. This is gardening in small places. I mean, you can't get much smaller than this, but there are smaller places. This is called, this one I know. This is called your mother-in-law's tongue, or tongue of the mother-in-law. And this is the little place. You know, if you're gonna play musical chairs, you need a lot of chairs, and that's why you have so many chairs here. I'm just a big fan of musical chairs. And there it is, the place that everybody's talking about. Let me get on a wider lens. And there it is. Good old planet Earth. All right, have a wonderful rest of Sunday. By the time this loads, it won't be Sunday. It won't be the 24th of November. It's always nice to arrive at a destination with nice weather. And certainly that's the case today. All right, take care, eat some nice food, enjoy your friends and your family. And if you start yelling, just get away from people. I guarantee you, when you get away from people, you stop yelling.